You do a pot roast in less than an hour. You know what it takes a regular pot roast for me to do in a regular pan? 4 hours. Corned beef, 3.5 hours, about 40 minutes in here, maybe less, okay? And the flavor is, if it's not only every bit as good, I think it's even better, because remember, when you cover something and you put it under pressure, the steam and the flavors, a lot of stuff that would normally, you know, fly out into the air, goes back into the meat, goes back into the fruits and vegetables, whatever you're cooking, and it just instills flavor inside. So, when you order today, know that you are gonna be getting a ridiculous discount from $49 to $29. It's $29.98. If you always wanted to try pressure cooking, today is the day to try it. I have these available in red, I have them available in blue, plum, rosé. Do I still have silver? No, I don't have silver, but I think, and I have teal. So, and I have, you sure we have a white? I don't see white.
No white. White's gone.
White's gone too.
Yeah.
Unless Kevin says we still have it. Kevin says there are still some online. Well, if you're ordering online, pick your color and it'll hopefully be there. Carrie Miletto, hello my dear.
Good morning, everybody.
Happy holidays. I love your earrings. Those are great.
They're like little upside down Christmas trees.
They're fantastic. Well, Carrie is one of our kitchen experts, and I will tell you, listen, we could all of us, if we've got a Sunday and we got 6 hours to cook, yeah, okay, then put it in a pan and wait. But most people don't have that time.
That's 100%
and they want to
true.
get results with the same kind of flavor, but in a fraction of the time with minimal mess or cleanup. Carrie, I love this 2-quart.
Oh my gosh, this has been my new favorite little friend in the kitchen, and this will be your favorite friend. This is a 3-pound pork roast here. So listen, if you want to do for the games, everyone's getting together, if you want to just make it for just you and someone else, you know, the thing about a 2-quart here is it's got that really great everyday size, but look at how much meat I'm actually taking out of here.
Wow.
And as you said, we're cooking 66% faster. So whereas this would take about 2.5 hours to 3 hours to cook this just right, look at this pork, unbelievable. You saw me it just fell right apart. And look at those nachos. Those are some nachos. And I still have a ton left. If you actually look inside of here, I just did 3 sliders and a big tray of nachos, and look at how much pork I still have left in here.
So you made enough food literally there for probably 10 to 15 people.
Totally,
I mean,
easy,
come on, in a 2-quart.
Easy peasy.
Yes.
So, and what's great about this is that, and I'm actually gonna leave that open because I'm gonna steal some of that in just a second.
Okay.
What makes this great is what you were saying. It's about infusing flavor into your food and not having to babysit it either. So when I open up, look at this, nice and hot. Oh yeah.
Can you look inside there, it's bubbling.
This is my mac and cheese. So this is, okay, so this is a 2-2-2 recipe. 2 cups of broth, 2 cups of cream, and 2 cups of pasta. Okay, and then the big ending finale, right? Cheese, cheese, please, please. So, you know, macaroni and cheese this time of year, if you live anywhere where it's, you know, remotely cool out, I feel you because I live in Atlanta. But here's the deal, you can make absolutely the most delicious comfort food like this mac and cheese so quickly. So just as it sits, it's just melting.
And you can always pop the lid on for another minute, let it do its thing. You know, we don't have a ton of time, but I want you to understand how delicious this is. Now, the vessel inside, the 2-quart vessel is non-stick, so you don't have to worry. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a non-stick interior.
Yes.
But look at how much, you know, 2 quarts is a lot of mac and cheese.
Yeah. Well, you know, because the thing is, I think when we see pressure cookers so often, they're 8 quarts, 10 quarts, really, really large. So we don't necessarily, look at this.
Are you going pork on there too?
Of course. Okay, so let's do a little bit of this. And then we're gonna come back over here. It's clearance day, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Let's make this happen. Yes. I'm
gonna help you.
Yes. You want to top that?
Yeah,
go for it. I just made it perfect. Okay, so imagine all the fun that you can have and just those 2 meals right there. But there's so much you can do with this. I'm actually gonna pop this guy off
and
here.
Let it do its thing?
So I wanna show you very quickly, this is only about 6 pounds, so it's nice and light.
Yeah.
So if you wanna use this for parties, you wanna bring this to different locations in the house, it's very light and easy to move around. Notice here it has the menu button. The menu has a lot of different options for you. So actually, let me stop. Okay, stop him. And then let me go back to my menu, and there we go. So now it's going from pressure high, pressure low, keep warm, Here you have the slow cook function. So this is also a slow cooker. Then it moves into searing and sauteing. So you always want to saute your meats and give a little caramelization before you start if you can, if it's a thawed meat. Here we actually have our keep warm function, which will keep warm for up to 8 hours after it's done.
Right?
Exactly.
For parties.
Exactly. Your rice and your egg function. So this will actually do the perfect hard-boiled egg in 6 minutes. How incredible is that?
I hear beeping.
There's all kinds of beeping that's gonna happen. So here, I want to show you guys, we were just talking about the party.
Wow.
Notice that the lid actually sits on top here, so it actually hinges, okay? So most pressure cookers don't have that feature, and you have to take the lid off, and when you take the lid off, you have water everywhere, right?
You gotta try to figure out how to put it back on.
I'm like, where am I putting it? Where am I putting it? So if you're in a party situation, this is absolutely perfect. Let's grab a plate here. So these are my teriyaki meatballs. So I'm gonna pop these out. So pretend you're at the party. How nice that this is able just to sit there and be very presentational. You know, so I like that. And with the 8-hour option, that means that these will stay nice and warm for the entire party. You don't have to babysit them at all.
And you know what's really wonderful? I'm just reaching to your right here. You know what's great? Not only is the food that you cook in it, it's the sauce.
Look at that.
That this makes. Because when you pressure cook, the sauce, your gravy is made for you. There's very little work that you need. I'm trying not to get you there.
I know. I'm moving.
There's very little work that you have to do.
Exactly.
As far as seasoning and all that stuff, you can always add a little salt and pepper, whatever at the end.
Easy stuff.
When you are cooking your food in the juice, it's especially true when you're doing like a roasted chicken in here.
Yep.
Or you're doing like a piece of beef.
Yeah.
And the easiest recipe on the planet, go buy a really cheap cut, like a top round or bottom round, pop it in there, package of French onion soup mix, like a cup of beef broth and a half a cup of red wine.
That's it.
And then throw some carrots and onions in there and put the lid on. In less than an hour, in probably about 45 minutes, you will have pull apart, pot roast, pull apart, whatever it is, beef roast, and the sauce is amazing.
Check it out, I did frozen chicken. So I had boneless frozen chicken, and I put that in there, and I did a little barbecue sauce. So whatever you cook, you just want to have a liquid. So about a cup of liquid for whatever you're cooking inside. And what happens is liquid turns to steam. Steam is then trying to escape, but it can't escape when it's in a pressure cooking environment. It instead infuses back into the food. So the reason that you know, Guy's saying, it doesn't even matter, you know, this is a case where if you can't afford the really, really expensive cut of meat, that's okay, because any cut of, even when it has more fiber, you know, fibrous,
that's where all the flavor
the tendons
is.
and all that stuff, that's where all the flavor is, right? So that just melds when it's being pressure cooked. And you have low pressure, high pressure. Low pressure is 7.5 pounds of pressure, high pressure is 15 pounds of pressure. So depending upon if you're doing things like vegetables or a tough cut of meat or something like that, you'll do low pressure or high pressure accordingly.
So let's show them everything you're gonna get when you're gonna order today, okay? And this is it in black, I believe,
This is it in black, yep.
Okay.
So you're getting your cute, you know, machine, and then it's coming with the rack here. So the rack is so that you can lift things up. So like if I do like stuffed peppers, or you want to do something that you want to kind of lift it up
on the bottom.
Exactly. This is for your measuring your water or your liquid, and then you also have your rice spoon that's coming with it. An extra that we have that I really highly recommend is a steaming basket, because if you want to do hard-boiled eggs, fish, all that sort of thing.
Kevin will let us know if we have that. That goes inside, or you can always find one if we sell out. But I will tell you right out of the gate, I did artichokes in it, whole artichokes.
Oh, perfect, yeah.
And I will tell you, artichokes are the most time-consuming thing to cook. Like literally, you put them on a stove with boiling water. They have to boil for like almost an hour.
It's crazy.
In here, you could do artichokes in about 75% less time, and everything is tender and delicious. And you just put them on that rack. That's why they're reminding me of it, because that rack, and let them raise above. You want to do meals that take a long time, but you don't have a lot of time. What about things like chili, soups, stews, casseroles, things that need to be baked? All that cooking, the searing, everything is done in one pan. And then you put the lid on it and you're done. And it takes up, you know, a small amount of space, because this is the 2-quart, both vertically and horizontally, right? Listen,
That's right.
Years ago, I had a 10-quart pressure cooker. I gave it away. Why? I wasn't using it. It's just me and Danny, and I thought, okay, I'll get the big one, and I didn't use it. You get a smaller one, just like a regular pan. You're gonna use this all the time.
You really use it all the time.
I don't think there's anything you can't make in it.
I have a larger pressure cooker, but I also have this one. And the reason why I love it, so if you already have one of the larger 6-quart, 8-quart, whatever, the reason why this is a really nice companion, side dishes, because I made a big cabbage dish. I'm Italian, but I'm also part German. So in my German side of the family, we do like Polish sausage and kielbasa and like the sauerkraut and all of that. So I did that in the large one because I made a big amount, but I needed potatoes to go with it. But I didn't want to put my potatoes in because you want to cook potatoes at a different time than you cook the rest of the stuff. So I used this guy, and this did 2 pounds of potatoes with no problem at all. So it really was fun. It was really easy. And I love that, again, I could have both of them going at the same time.
You know this is gonna be good.
This is my steamed cake. Okay, so check it. You can make a cake, a box batter cake. You can also do cheesecakes in your pressure cooker. You just have to get a little spring form. But here, I wanna go first with my caramel. I get very excited when the cake comes out. Okay,
Did you notice I stopped talking?
This is a box batter. Okay, so simple and easy. Now watch, I did caramel, and then I'm just gonna take some whipped cream. I love making fresh whipped cream at home, by the way, too, because that's always better than anything you can buy.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, look, so I'm gonna really top that guy.
Yeah, that's
okay?
beautiful.
And then we're just gonna do
berries.
some very carefully placed berries. And I want you to think about the last time you were at the store and you saw a cake like this, maybe like at the bakery center or whatever. How much were they trying to charge you for it?
Carrie, I will tell you, the best way to bake a cake ever is in a pressure cooker.
Oh my gosh, because
I mean, first of all, you have moist heat cooking your cake versus dry heat. You want it to be moist, just like brownies and things like that. Do it in a pressure cooker. You need to try that. It is, when you cut into it, it's like a pudding.
It's super, yes.
Right?
That's a great way to say it. It kind of just melts in your mouth more than like my husband generally doesn't like cake, and we have to do gluten-free and everything else. But the nice part about this is
you should see somebody about that, by the way, because everybody should like cake.
He doesn't
How does he not like cake?
Probably because it was hurting him for so many years. It was making him feel bad, so he didn't really realize. So I think he associated.
He got the gluten and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? Whether it's gluten-free or not, again, baking cakes in here makes it super simple. You don't have to babysit. It's going to come out perfect every single time, and that was done in about 30 minutes. Here, we're talking about, this one's about 45 to an hour, depending upon how much you fit. This is my pot roast. So the pot roast here, I'm just going to keep going, okay? I'm just going to start pouring it out.
Is this not making you hungry at all?
I know it doesn't matter what time of the day. It's like, you see this?
Remember what we told you
this
before about the sauce, okay? Now, the key to a really good pot roast, everybody knows, obviously cook it properly. Nobody wants a pot roast that's tough. So let it, give it the time. But the sauce that comes out of this is to die for.
Let's get a little
And by the way,
sauce.
if you run out of meat, please freeze the sauce and use it for something else. But that is where, come on.
Okay, because you know what happens with your sauces and with all of your, so like you saw me doing the turkey chili just a minute ago. You ever notice how when you do sauces or you do stews, that first day stew or that first day sauce can always be like a little watery. It's not really.
You know what I like on pot roast?
Oh my gosh, what are you doing?
No, you try that. You put sour cream on pot roast. You have to try a little bit with the sour cream. It's really good.
Oh my God, it is really good.
It's really good. I'm not weird. I always put whipped cream on it.
I've never done that. Okay,
You know
don't do that.
Because when you mix, I do mine over egg noodles. And when you mix it all together, it makes this creamy
stroganoff.
sauce.
I've done that with stroganoff. That's what you're doing.
I just ripped off stroganoff.
We just learned something from Mr. Guy. I was like, what is he doing to my food?
I'm sorry, honey.
Hey, but you know what? That's what happens in the kitchen. You learn from each other.
I know.
You get tips and things like that.
It's so good.
The nice part about something like this, though, let me tell you, when you've had a long day and you just want to put all the ingredients in here, you want to close it up. Okay, the way that this works is you just lock it like this. It has a valve here at the top. So you have your pressure side and you have your steam side. So when you turn this, you see the little valve is in here. So it'll rise up when it goes to pressure, and then when it stops, when you're done, all you want to do is take it from pressure to steam, and the steam will come up and it'll release. That's called a quick release. And if you let it release on its own, it'll take about 15 to 30 minutes on its own if you want to do a slow release. But the nice part is you'll always have it on steam when you want to do, when you want to slow cook. Okay, so if you use this as a slow cooker, which you absolutely can, then, and that's what I love about this, is it's actually like so many things in one. You know, it gets rid of a lot of extra appliances on your countertop.
And clean up. Right?
So
I mean,
simple.
you know, you've got one thing,
it.
and there's no spattering or spilling or any of that stuff.
So all you do is this actually, the ring pops out for cleaning, so I just always let that soak, because the ring is what keeps the pressure, so that's very important. And then your non-stick bowl on the inside, and and the lid comes off, you guys, so you know, you've seen me actually placing it, but look, it comes off. It comes completely off if you want it to, but I love, again, that feature that you really don't ever see on a lot of pressure cookers, which is that it actually just sets on top like this. I think that's incredible. So here we've done a beef pho, or faux, as you may know it, but pho is the appropriate way.
Right.
But that has been now the new thing. It's been very exciting.
Very
Everyone goes, it is, it's very good for you. They call it the hangover cure. And the reason is because it's so brothy, right? And so the broth is what needs to be perfect with this, and you're gonna get that with pressure cooking. So now we can do all our toppings, perfection. We'll do a little bit of this across here. And if you had some hoisin sauce or things like that, you would go to town with that. But look at, these are very expensive. These are $15, $16 at the ramen shops. Yeah. And you can make this, again,
for pennies.
For pennies, because the pressure is creating that long time cooking, but 66% faster.
You are gonna love this. It is the perfect size, small footprint. You rarely get to say that with a pressure cooker. Yet you've seen that we can make a ton of food with this, enough easily for 6 to 8 people.
Oh yeah.
Because you know everything is very concentrated, and you can get a 5 or 6 pound roast in here. I mean that's enough for 5 or 6 people. It's a pound of food for everybody. You will do it and you will love it. It's easy to program. It does the work for you. Remember, anything you put in there, just add a little liquid. That's the foundation of what pressure cooking is you cook the liquid turns to steam, the steam penetrates the food breaks down, and as it's immersed in flavor. And when you try it, here's the other thing I love.
Yeah.
Is that, listen, I worked in the restaurant business for a million years, and I have very talented chefs and cooks and all that. You don't need any cooking skill to be a really good cook with a pressure cooker.
That's 100% true.
Right?
And I love the hands-free of it. So if you're running around, you got a lot of things going on, or maybe you get home late a lot, you can cook frozen meals in here in a matter of minutes. You can do hard-boiled eggs in 6 minutes. I do my potatoes. Think about that. Boiled potatoes on the stove. Do you always see the boiling water going everywhere and it makes a ton of mess and you have to sit there for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes waiting for your potatoes? 2 pounds of potatoes in here, wait for it, 6 minutes.
That's crazy.
It's how long it takes for me to do them in here. And I don't have boiling water anywhere. I don't have a mess. It's absolutely clean. I love it, love it, love it.
If you can cook it in a pressure cooker.
That's right.
I'm just telling you, across the board, I have not found anything that I cannot really do inside a pressure cooker.
It's kind of a challenge. Like you kind of like start going.
And we didn't even get to the part of how much money it saves you versus cooking in the oven, which you got to heat up a giant oven to cook something this big. Makes no sense. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I love those earrings. Those are adorable.